Oh, cool.
Be here.
Cool, nice.
Yeah.
From Abu Dhabi?
From Dubai.
Oh, Dubai, cool.
Yeah. Perfect. So, yeah, great work with this, guys. I think this is really, something people are going to be talking about for a long, long time. So, it's a pleasure to speak with you about it.
You too.
How has the experience been of you guys interacting with it just as viewers now? Because obviously you've seen yourself in films before, but this is a different beast entirely. So how has it been interacting with it? How is it making your own choices about your own characters?
I didn't really make the choices about my character. I let my flatmate make the choices for me because I found that a little bit too strange. I think I'm a bit too close to it.
Finn still doesn't have control.
Yeah,
still being controlled.
Yeah, always. But it's always strange to watch yourself, I think.
Yeah, it wasn't until I became a viewer that it actually fully made sense. On set, I was constantly grappling with the different timelines, the different narrative strands, and trying to make sense of what the viewer might be experiencing. But it wasn't until I was actually in the shoes of the viewer that it all finally came together. And I'm glad it seems to all make sense. And the chronology of it all has been worked out. So.
Yeah, how did you? What was your approach to crafting these characters, and how hard was that to keep a thread of as you were making this process? I mean, who were these people on the page, and how did they become the people that you made them?
I guess when I read the script for the first time, the character was quite clear for me. The character of Stefan seemed fairly clear in the writing. It's more the character arc, if you like, the sort of the character's story and how it changes his behaviour and his mental state that was trickier to follow, because obviously at different scenes and at different points and in different variations, if you go back and redo, he is more aware and less aware of his amount of control within the piece.
How about for you and Colin?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had to be so cognizant of the audience's sort of emotional state or sense of knowing before. I think ordinarily you try and kind of block that out, but there is an element in this where you have to consider the audience kind of more so, and there is a breaking of the fourth wall on occasion. And often in our conversations with the director and together as actors, along with Asim and Craig and whoever else we were in a scene with, it was about talking about how much knowing, how much awareness there was. So like dialing that up or dialing that down, depending on what version of each scene you were shooting. But yeah, it was always a bit of a tricky task trying to sort of know where you were at any one time.
I also think that was very specific to me and you though, because all the other characters, at least from my perspective within Bandersnatch, aren't aware of the fact that they are in a thing on Netflix or whatever they think it is.
Yeah.
Colin and Stefan are the only characters who are, when Stefan becomes aware of it, Colin is kind of always aware of it, it seems like. So yeah, I just kind of thought that.
Constantly questioning reality to some degree, and sometimes in a major way, particularly when you confront the audience. Yeah.
How much of these characters and going through this process affected you, and like how hard has it been to separate yourself after getting out of this material? Because obviously you're going through it through so many different ways. Has it been different for you?
No, I mean, at the end of every day, to be honest, I think we were, at least personally, I was so knackered that the last thing I wanted to do was even think about the work, like the day's work. I'd have a look through my lines for the next day or whatever, which often changed anyway because we had so much to do. So it wasn't as hard as I expected it might be.
And was Colin the same, or has he stuck with you?
I really struggled with the challenge presented by shooting this, and it's important to underline that I had about a third of the material that Finn had to grapple with, and I was knackered at every day as well. At the end of every day as well, I kind of describe one day's work on Bandersnatch as like a week's worth of work. I think we shot this over 6 weeks or something like that. But it was a very, very intense 6 weeks.
If I could ask something really quick before we wrap up. I was talking to Charlie, and he says that Colin could very well continue throughout this series and be kind of like an overarching, aware character of the entire Black Mirror universe. Would you like to continue with Colin?
I mean, if Charlie Brooker and Annabelle Jones will have me again, I'm not going to say no. I would love that. I would love if Colin made a reappearance. That would be fun. One of the sort of things they played with was this idea that he can travel through time. So actually, there's a poster in his house that I think is from 1986, and the episode takes place in 1984.
Yeah.
There's little things like that, and in his record collection, there are records that were released later than the date in which you kind of meet him. So yeah, that could be fun. I'm certainly up for it. I'm available.
I would love you to be an extra in one episode and just walk in the background and spike the camera as you walk past.
I'm up for it. Yeah, I'm around.
Excellent. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Cheers. Thanks, man. Nice to meet you.